sort of gone. Yeah.
Nice.
Dude,
Just
what's going on?
Just same old, waiting on my stupid brother. Don't know what he's doing.
Oh no, the band just got back together and you're gonna do a fucking Oasis on us.
It's over. Yeah.
How long did it take? Who's the bigger dick out of the Gallagher brothers? Do you know?
It's Liam all the way, isn't it?
Yeah,
Liam is Noel seems all right, maybe. They're both fuckwits, surely.
Yeah, that's it. He's less a dickhead.
They wrote a couple of good songs, but
yeah, just a couple of bangers. Wonderwall. So who's Liam and who's Noel then?
Oh, Jason's got to be Liam for sure.
What an intro.
I like you don't argue either. It's like,
I'll take it.
What's going on?
Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for hanging out, and fucking welcome back to the world of music. Hey, well, you haven't been gone from it, but SUNK LOTO, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you,
man.
I'm going to start with the obvious. Why now?
It just happened, really. I don't think it was really contrived or planned. There was a couple of us kind of on the fringe and weren't I guess overly keen, like myself, to do it to start with. But things just aligned. I actually started talking to Luke, our guitarist, at the start of the year, and I hadn't Sean bass player for probably 12 plus years.
Wow.
Like no real feeling there or anything. It just kind of drifted apart. Like we were obviously together so young. I think we disbanded when I was like 21, 22. It was all over. And then it just kind of naturally happened. Like I think we had our first jam in like maybe March or April this year. And if you had asked me in December last year, is it ever going to happen again? It would have been in no way. Like I haven't even spoken to the dudes, and next thing I know, we're playing shows again, and things are good.
Hell yeah! How does it feel? Because like, fuck, man, these shows, boys, they've tickets have gone like that. Like they've just sold out so quick, man. It's fucking wild.
Yeah,
like,
man.
20 years since nearly 20 years since the last album.
20 years next year.
Didn't know. I think what to expect. We didn't know what to expect as far as like crowds and stuff. Like if we were going to get half full venues, like if we're going to get 100 people. But I don't know. I sort of started to get a gut feeling like there was a lot of talk around the past couple of years of people wanting to see us return. And it's just like you say, it's sold out every show we put on, and it's just crazy.
Not tiny venues either.
Not
pubs.
We've had to sort of double up and put on a second show in Brizzy and Melbourne as well, just because they sold out in sort of 24 hours. And I think that's like a obviously a bit of a sign if we didn't know where we were at. We had a couple of people, I guess, that we were still in contact with, some friends in the industry, and were kind of pretty confident that things were going to go well for us. And Jason's probably a bit more recognizable than me, and works around music a lot more than I do. Like I've had nothing to do with music for 7 or 8 years, and I was kind of a bit more skeptical, and wasn't sure what to expect. But I think like deciding to have our first jam and stuff, it was purely for fun, and to I hadn't picked up a pair of sticks for over 7 years, like literally hadn't played at all, and I was kind of curious.
Yep, we lost him.
Play. One thing led to another, and the shows are on. But I'm definitely surprised and humbled and super stoked to be doing it again.
What's the response been from like an age demographic? Is it an older crowd for you, or have you got younger people at the shows?
I actually thought it was going to be, sort of like our age to like a sort of older crew, but I've noticed a lot of younger sort of 20-year-olds in the crowd. It really surprised me. Like it's probably more sort of our age, like the 35 to 40s, but there's definitely some younger crew in there, which was awesome too.
Yeah, that's it.
We do see a lot of like on the socials, a lot of younger people sort of following the band.
I was saying this to Johnny because I missed you first time around. As in, I was just too young. I didn't know about you. Johnny introduced me, and then when he was showing me, and he was like, "Yeah, the last album came out." I was like, Yeah, I was 13. Like,
Yeah,
I missed that era, but I was so interested to see what the response would be because of one, social media, but also things like Spotify. It's a lot easier to be discovered, even if you're a band that isn't like currently making new music, purely because of the way their algorithms work. If you're like akin to this sort of band or this, it might be a bit easier for younger guys to find you. So that's cool to hear that you're actually getting some young guys up to the shows and potentially building a newer audience along the way.
Yeah, I've spoken to a fair few people that were too young, that were into the band back in the day, that couldn't actually come see us play, that have finally see us play now. So that's cool to hear as well.
And they brought their kids now as well.
Yeah. We've actually had a few of them.
That's sick.
We were right on the cusp as well, like when things were winding down for us. Like that was kind of during that whole Napster and, you know, iTunes or Apple Music had just become a thing. There was no Spotify or anything. So, yeah, it was kind of, I think some of our catalogs only very recently been added to those streaming platforms. Like, I think maybe Between Birth and Death was up on maybe iTunes or Apple Music, whatever it is, a couple of years on, then noticed the earlier stuff starting to get added. But yeah, like a completely different, I guess, era when we were kind of around, and it was still the time of big record labels and CDs in shops, and it's just, you know, it's not a thing anymore. So CDs are vinyl now.
Well, story time. I discovered you guys. It was like right when, I think it was just before the EP dropped, and it was on a CD that came as a bonus thing with a Korn album, and I think it was like, I think Lift was the song that was on there.
Yeah,
and
Jingle Balls.
Jingle Balls, the Korn Christmas single.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, hang on a second. Like, this is kind of new metal, but this has got like a bit like of a Deftones Incubus vibe to it. It's got that skate surf punk vibe, but also got the new metal vibe, that Faith No More sort of sound. And yeah, man, like I was in from then, like, and that was like what, 99, I think that came out. And we were chatting about it yesterday. I was like, holy fuck, man, like that was like, I was 17 or 18. That was a year I finished school, dude. I'm 40 now. Like, and just to think back to how different the world is musically now, with sales of music, consumption of music, like, and like Nate said, like social media and all this sort of stuff. Where do you guys fit into coming back into this world and sort of navigating that new sort of approach to listening to music and consuming music?
Or how much thought have you put into it? Like, is that something, or are you literally still going with being like, well, we just want to play some music and have some fun again? Or is this like, okay, we're going to do it properly?
Yeah, I think, we definitely have been talking about writing and sort of moving forward into next year of trying to maybe release a few songs. I think at this stage, I don't know if we put the pressure on ourselves to create a full record. And that is the beauty of the current sort of environment now, is you can just drop
a single
songs a year, and it seems to work really well.
If anything, it works better.
I think so. Yeah, man. I even hear Slipknot talking about just doing that for a while. They're just talking about releasing songs and no more records. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's probably what we're going to aim for next year, is to try and get a few, maybe 2 songs out, maybe 3 songs out. If we can sort of pull our shit together and write good music, we have to find out.
Yeah, that's another thing I was sort of wondering, like, you know, like even the heavy music landscape has changed so much since, you know, Between Birth and Death, which to me was well ahead of its time and criminally underrated. So have you had any thought into that, or like what your current influences are and all that sort of stuff?
I don't think we're overly keen on planning or, you know, kind of contriving a formula of how we want it to sound. It's just going to kind of sound the way it does. Like the rest of the band members were only just kind of having a chat the other day when we rehearsed last about, you know, what a nightmare it was actually putting Between Birth and Death together for a while there, because there's so many different like influences and sounds, and like I guess as far as core songwriters, Jason, Luke as well, they're you know, write a lot of very different stuff, and we were just bashing our heads against the wall for a good year and just didn't like anything, and it just wasn't feeling right. And then we just kind of through that wall and kind of everything came together for us. So I think we'll probably go in with a similar approach and probably fucking hate the process for a couple of months. Who knows? We might come out with some bangers straight away. But yeah, I don't know what it's going to sound like. But I don't know.
I hope it's not as torturous as writing Between Birth and Death. I don't know if I just came in on that because I dropped out. But yeah, that was a brutal process.
Yeah, you guys have made no secret, we don't have to get into obviously why the band split and all that sort of stuff. I'm assuming that process probably had a lot to do with it and, difference of genres and opinions and things. But what was the go with that process then? Why was that such a torturous process for you? Because the album turned out phenomenal.
Yeah, we were at that point under a lot of pressure from our record label to write hit singles and make very palatable at the time, like what it was 2002 when we were like really in the depths of writing that album. Wanted us to sound like Static X or Who to Stank or something like that. And basically kind of told that what we were writing wasn't good enough and it wasn't what they wanted to hear. And we just kind of went away and just kept trying and trying. But we're also, I guess, a little bit what I remember of the process. We were obviously very young. Like I was 17 when we recorded that album. But I think we just got to the point where we were defiant and just went, fuck it, let's do what we want to do. And that's what we did. But it was like a pretty test because we literally have 12-hour jam sessions sometimes, like days and days and days in a row, just kind of going over because we were developing as musicians a lot at that time as well. Like I said, I was 16 probably when we were writing it, 17 when we recorded, and that's still like a pretty formative time in your life when you're learning how to kind of hone your craft on your instrument. So and
also deal with each other as well,
as immature teenagers. But yeah, there was plenty of friction and tension, but also like it wasn't all bad. But we actually had all of our gear stolen out of the room with a multi-track recorder while we were doing all the demos and stuff of that album as well. So that set us back a little bit as well. But I don't know, like I think that might have been a good thing for us because we're getting pretty close to finishing like a lot of songs, and I think, Jace, if I remember correctly, we kind of probably had about 10 or 12 songs on there, and we kind of went, fuck them, let's start again. But yeah, it was a
days before we had Pro Tools or anything like that. We were just using
nothing was backed up.
Literally like 8-track recorders, and yeah, it was just everything was a bit more challenging. And the fact we're trying to push ourselves technically too. We weren't just settling for verse, chorus. We're really trying to push the envelope hard, which pushes your patience, and it's not easy. Yeah,
well, we're pretty like there's still obviously like our core influences that I guess come through a little bit on that album, like Faith No More and Deftones and so on. But we kind of really just discovered Meshuggah, and like we were really into, I think, Lateralis by Tool came out, and to us like a whole new universe of music kind of opened up. And I think we really challenge ourselves technically, not to show off musically, but just to kind of write some more intricate structured songs. And we're listening to a lot of heavy stuff as well, so I think
you want to explore the stuff you're into.
Yeah, for sure. And I think also we did, like I said, being a little bit defiant, we very much rushed into writing and recording our first full-length album, Big Picture Lies. Like it was pretty much put together over a course of 8 weeks, like in between doing shows and all that kind of stuff. And no regrets. Like it's part of those development periods in your career, I guess. But yeah, we're very much like wanted to zero in on every little part of every little song and make it as perfect as what we thought it could be. So yeah, it wasn't easy, but it was definitely, if we had our time over, I'd do it again for sure.
I think if you have your time over now, it's only gonna be easier. Everything's digital. You can just like retake.
Yeah, man. That's I think definitely being more mature. We're not going to punish ourselves as hard as we did 20, nearly 25 years ago, almost now. I'm really looking forward to digging in and trying to pick up and start writing again.
Now, you talked before about the pressures of the major label. What's going on label-wise now? Are you guys going to be self-producing? Do you have any ties there?
I think, like, right now, we probably want to be as self-sufficient and independent as possible, but who knows what's going to happen. Like, I think we've kind of set a couple of goals for, well, we've got 3 shows in a couple of weeks. We got 2 Melbourne and Sydney. After that, I think we're going to do our best to just start writing some songs and hopefully come out with a couple of good songs, because I've got no doubt there'll be plenty of material flying around. But, you know, like, just try and zero in on what is the best. Get a couple of songs together and put together a good national tour next year. And then kind of, I guess, hit the ground running. But we haven't got any ties there as such, but we're really kind of open to everything. And we've, you know, got some good people around us, but we've you know, left off in one era of time and now come back in and everything's changed. So, you know, I've had very, very little to do with music over the last kind of 7 or 10 years. So I wouldn't have a fucking clue.
I feel like it's an exciting time to be coming back into music. Like, heavy music is having an absolute renaissance.
Yeah.
And there is so much variety and excitement, and everything has a place, and everyone, like, I feel like the borders and the genres are way less like, and you have to sound like this, and this is the bands you can play with. It's a way more exciting time to be coming back in. I think from a touring perspective, awesome, but also the opportunities of being self-produced and self-funding, while it can be daunting, it's exciting.
You no longer have record labels. Well, maybe you do in some aspects, I'm not sure, but have record labels telling you how you're meant to sound and what your song needs to be if they're going to put your record out or not.
Yeah.
And radio stations dictating who's going to be big and who's not. Like, is it saturated now? Maybe a little bit, but I definitely think, like, what I know, which is very little these days, it's definitely for the better, and it's much more geared towards the artist kind of being a little bit more brave and creative and doing what they want without, you know, being told how they have to sound. So it is exciting. And now you've got that worldwide reach.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to bring up. So when you guys were, you know, like at the peak, or, you know, in the, you know, 7 years that you spent together or whatever, there was nothing like this. There was, I mean, you had things like Channel V, which was about it. But now you've got like things like what we've got, like this reaction channel. You know, reaction channels are such a huge thing now, you know, with promotion of bands. Like, they've become like, this has become the new media. This has become the new promotion tool. You know, these sorts of interviews and stuff that we're doing, and everyone just has that access to each other. It must have you been keeping up with all this sort of stuff and watching how it's been evolving, and thinking that, well, we've got a lot more avenues now that we can use. Let's just get into them and use them.
I think, yes, in some areas it's a little, like, I've followed it a little bit, but it's all a little bit foreign to us as well, maybe. So we're sort of learning on the go a little bit, coming back into it. But like you say,
so we've only been doing this for a year and a half.
Yeah. But it's definitely, like, to me, it reflects like what we're seeing in, like, the renaissance of heavy music. Even it's probably stronger than it's ever.
Oh,
he's frozen. Let it go, let it go.
Yeah, look, I think when we were kind of coming into the fray, it almost felt a little bit like heavy music was banned. It was taboo, like, especially in Australia. But yeah, look, as far as navigating how this is going to work, I think it's going to be a pretty natural thing for us. And I think that's a good thing, like, not putting too much pressure on ourselves, and just, you know, kind of getting a couple of good songs together is really just where we're going to start, and hopefully build the foundations from there. But 100%, I think we're very much keen to have a second coming and stick around for a long time, if we can. So
when it comes to writing new music, what are you guys listening to at the moment? What's inspiring you?
You answer that, Jace, because you'll be more interesting than me.
Man, I don't know. Are you still listening to the same albums from like 10, 20 years ago?
Maybe.
I still do a bit too. I don't know, probably a bit of periphery, as far as like cutting edge for me. They're sort of on the cutting edge of like the heavy music as far as I see things. Yeah, look, I listen to a lot of heavy stuff, but also I listen to a lot of country music these days. Like, I don't know. Fuck knows, it could be a country metal record.
Hey, stranger things have happened. We've heard it.
We said the boundaries are blurred, man. You do what you want to do.
Exactly. So, like I find myself listening to like modern classical stuff. So I don't know. Who knows, man? I think we're always going to be a band that sort of pushes the boundaries and tries to not sound too cookie cutter.
Yeah, for sure. But that's one thing I wanted to ask you as well. So like obviously you've still like because what was your Electric Horse, was it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I was familiar with that band, and you obviously do your solo stuff as well. But as someone who himself took, about 5 to 7 years off heavy music and getting back in a jam room with your mates and thinking I can still scream and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When you guys said, righto, let's get together and have a jam, was there a little bit of, oh, fuck, I better relearn how to do this shit? And how'd that go for you?
I had a lot of people around me asking me, like, how the fuck are you going to do what you used to do vocally? And I was like, I don't know. I guess I'll find out. I sort of backed myself because I've always kept singing in some capacity. And it was just like muscle memory straight away. Just as soon as we played a couple of songs, I'm like, yep, it's probably better now than it was back then. Because maybe I'm looking after my health a little bit better.
Probably because you're not having about 30 vodka Red Bulls before we go on stage.
Yeah, and you're also finally gone through puberty. You're actually like matured now.
Yeah, man, definitely. That last phase of the band back then, it was just a drunken.
Yeah, we're old enough to drink. Let's just get fucked up. We can do this shit forever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the Red Bull jitters.
Yeah, I think vocally I'm going better than I ever have in the screaming department. I think I've just learned to sort of not push too hard as well in the scream sort of area. You can still get plenty of guts out of a scream without pushing every bit of your throat into it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm definitely keen to hear what you do. I'm definitely keen because I never got like as big of a fan as I was back in the day. I never got to catch you guys live. Yeah. I don't know why. Never got to see you, and I was like, well, there's a band I'll never see. So,
are you guys Melbourne or
basically Sydney,
Central Coast, just north of Sydney.
Yeah, so you coming to the Sydney shows or?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm away, aren't
I think you're away.
Yeah. I'm a dickhead. I'm leaving.
I'm gonna get someone to hook me up a door spot and get in there because I didn't buy a ticket because I'm lazy as fuck.
Yeah, man.
All right, so do we want to do some fun stuff with them?
Nah, I hate fun.
You hate fun?
Yeah, don't do it.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Fuck you. All right, we're gonna give you. We like to fuck around on the channel a bit and give some would you rather's. All right, so it'll be interesting to see how this splits the brothers.
Or do we give them the quiz and make them verse each other?
What, like the trivia?
Yeah.
Do you still have the trivia quiz?
I'm sure I can find it.
Oh,
are you guys any good at pub trivia?
No.
That's a no, which I love.
Let's find out.
See if I can find where I wrote this.
I told you this is going to be the Oasis. I'm telling you.
The what?
It's going to be the Oasis all over again. They're going to start throwing shit at each other on stage, and it's going to be our fault.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start it off.
That's nearly happened a few times.
We're gonna go. You get a point per question, obviously, and it's just gonna be first in, best dressed. So just shout out when you got your answer, and we'll see where we go. First question here is: what is the official nickname of Texas?
Texas. What?
When I say it, you'll be like, "Damn it, I know that one."
It's the big something, isn't it?
Nope.
It's the something state.
There's a the in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're already ahead of him.
That still doesn't give you the point though. The correct answer is the Lone Star State.
Oh,
you guys would remember Lone Star restaurants before they went out of business because everyone was chucking peanuts at each other and allergic people died.
Okay, so
it's not what really happened.
South by Southwest, that was rad. We spent like a month in Austin, Texas.
It's cool there, huh? I was there a few years ago.
I could live there. It's a good spot.
So this next one, it says it's a song and bonus points if you can sing it. So which Australian artist sang "Can't Get You Out of My Head"? And the bonus point is if you're going to sing the catchy part.
Oh, no, I'm not doing the singing.
Oh, could get a bonus point.
Get a point, mate.
Nah, I've never sang in my life.
So no backing vocals on the tour then. All right, no worries. All right. What animal can clean its own ear with its tongue?
I thought you were going to say something else.
I think most animals can do that.
Johnny certainly can.
Not that flexible.
Clean its own ear with its tongue.
I'm going to say sloth.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no.
Guess.
Anteater.
Snake?
Anteater is also a great guess, but no. You've both had guesses here. It's giraffe.
Giraffe. Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Of course.
I'll give you a bonus point, though. You can make up for it if you can tell me what body part a giraffe is missing that every other mammal has.
Every other mammal.
Yeah.
Nipples.
Nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? No, it's the vocal cords. It's the only mammal without vocal cords.
That's great.
What does giraffes even do?
Just swing their neck back and forth.
Yeah, true.
They'd be great at windmills. All right. What is the most deadly animal in the world? Like, what animal is responsible for killing the most people?
Hippos?
No. Is hippos up there? Did you both say that?
Yeah, hippos are the most deadly mammal. They kill the most people in Africa. But no, that's not the animal that kills them.
Mosquitoes.
Oh, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Came in strong.
Dramas.
Which country gave the US the Statue of Liberty?
France.
France.
Oh.
God, it was definitely not a tie.
Just blame it on the delay. All right. Here we go.
You can sing this one. It might make
you
it
can.
easier.
I reckon the only reason we knew that one is I'm sure that was a trivia on a stubby cap recently.
Probably.
We had no business knowing that.
True. That was beer related.
All right. Finish these lyrics. I stay up too late. Got nothing in my brain.
Oh.
Do you want me to sing it?
It's Taylor Swift. I just fucking.
Can you finish it though?
Shake it off.
That's the
song.
What's the next?
We need the next
What's
line.
the next line? I stay up too late. Got nothing in my brain.
Oh, I don't know, man. I just know it's Taylor Swift.
That's what people say, but you got the
I reckon that's a half point because you got the song and the artist.
Yeah, I got to get some points here.
All right, here's another music one. Which artist has had a #1 Billboard hit every decade for the last 4 decades? One artist has been #1 in every decade for the last 4 decades.
Madonna?
No.
It's what most people say.
Yeah, that is actually the most common guess.
Yeah.
It's
have you seen her now?
It is.
Yeah.
I've seen Madonna. It's brutal.
So rough.
Is it Christine Aguilera?
I don't. Is she 40?
Oh, I don't know.
Think between those two, I guess.
Think this time of year.
Oh shit.
Mariah Carey.
Hey, well done.
Shit, Vic.
Maybe I gave you too big a hint there on that one.
All right. Which of these pop artists has written for Alice Cooper? Kesha, Miley Cyrus, or Lady Gaga?
Kesha.
You're the first person to get that straight up. Well done.
She's written a lot of songs, man. Kesha. Yeah.
I say that to everyone. I'm like trying to back her up, being like, that chick writes so well, but no one knows that. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
What's the name of? Oh wait, I missed one here, but Johnny, take away. This is Johnny's question.
All right. Yeah, you knew the answer to this already. Female kangaroos have as many vaginas as octopus have hearts. How many do they have?
3.
What the fuck, dude? Well done.
Jesus.
There you go. Don't ask me how I know that.
Do you know the octopus part, and that's how you got the answer?
I'm going to say no, just for the creep factor.
Sure. Because that's how I got the answer, because I knew about octopus.
You wanted me to say
8.
It's pretty cheating.
What's the name of Iron Maiden's mascot?
Eddie.
Yep.
Holy
crushed
shit.
it.
He's crushing.
I feel like this next part's too easy because it's all Australian.
Yeah, we'll
stuff.
skip those ones.
Yeah.
We'll skip those ones.
Yeah, we haven't done this with any Australian artists yet. It's all been like international bands.
How many of the 7 dwarves' names end in the letter Y?
6.
No, but that was a very quick guess.
5.
7.
5 is the answer.
Well
what are the 2 that don't?
Boy.
What are the 2 that don't, though?
Fuck knows. Dane?
No. I can't watch any of that shit. Yes. I had nightmares over Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when I was a kid.
Yeah,
really?
creepy.
Really weird. Yeah, it freaks me out. Like bad.
You think that's bad? Go watch the Johnny Depp one. It's even creepier.
Yeah, I know. Oh no, I think the original's got it for me.
Just because he ate when you saw it when you were young.
Yeah, and when I think I was in year 4, and we went on a school camp, and they like put us all in like these dorm rooms and shut the lights off and played the movie audio in the dark.
What the fuck?
At that. I was so anxious. I was picking my ear until it was all bloody and scabby.
Was this a torture camp or something?
I think it might have been actually.
It was actually juvie. You didn't go to school.
It was the 90s. It was the 90s.
Yeah, a different time.
Yeah.
We're still listening to CDs.
Hey, give us 3 iconic Schwarzenegger quotes, but you have to do them in the voice.
Does Dahl count?
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Get to the chopper.
Classic.
Bennett.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, do that, you son of a bitch.
Well done, well done. All right, finish this classic movie sentence. We're gonna need a bigger.
Oh.
Well done.
Said with less of a question
you
mark
didn't sound
in the
very
movie, though.
sure about it.
I suck.
Chimpanzees and gorillas have the same human-like fingerprints. What other animal has the same type?
Fingerprints. Giraffe?
No.
No, but did you hear it can clean its ear with its tongue?
He can't tell you about it, though.
Who needs fingers when he can do that? Chimps, gorillas, and
Fucking...
A hint, it's
Right.
of no relation to chimps or gorillas.
it's got human fingerprints.
Yeah.
And we're ruling out humans.
We
Yeah,
are
you
ruling
can't-
out
yeah,
humans,
no,
yes.
Not a trick, not a sneaky trick question.
No, there's no trick questions in this one.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
go
won
on.
anyway.
Just mic drop. The answer is the koala.
Really?
Koalas, yeah, they have fingerprints. That was a big thing when all the bushfires happened as well, because all the koalas are getting their fingerprints burnt off, poor little things.
Mm.
Oh,
There's a
All
koala
right.
here at the moment.
There's what?
I could just hear a koala out here. I live in the bush.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Very
Get it on now.
Australian of you,
American
yeah.
viewers would love that shit. All right. Last one. What country has the world's most ancient forest?
Brazil?
Incorrect.
No, it's probably the world's most devastated forest.
are we talking rainforest or forest? Can you?
Forest.
Tasmania? No.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to give you that. It is Australia.
It's Australia.
Australia has it.
Australia.
Yeah.
Whereabouts
Yeah.
in Australia?
Yeah, I don't
Did
know.
we look that up?
No, we didn't look that part up. We
We're
just saw
not
the-
worried about
Is it
details
actually
here.
true?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah, it is true. I
Yeah.
knew that. We also have the world's oldest population.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Indigenous Australians are like the oldest known civilization.
Yeah.
Is it 40,000 years, they say?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
When you think about it actually in terms of like how long humans have existed, that's so long.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's so long. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're right, Dane. You win. You crushed that.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done. So
I don't know how much of it was actually
I
knowledge
wanna-
and how
I
much
wanna
was luck.
recount.
A
This is fucking rigged. Can we get a recount? What was the score?
Look,
Don't
it
make
was-
us remind you.
Yeah. Do you want to know?
he's definitely gonna bring this up at Christmas dinner for sure.
You got Kesha, and that's the main thing.
Yeah,
That's
that
all
was
you can
actually
take away.
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Yeah, that's worth a couple of answers. Look, now we do like to do some would you rathers, but we're just going to give you the big one that divides the channel, okay? And it's the big one that divides most bands as well.
Yeah, it's particularly relevant since you guys are going back on tour now. You have to go back on tour. You're warm, you're ready, you're excited to get back on stage. Before you do, you have to put on cold, wet underwear or cold, wet socks. What do you choose?
Ooh. Undies.
Yeah, undies. Keep the pills nice.
I'm glad I never knew you guys back in the day.
Right. Yep.
You guys just both ate yourselves a beer off me. Well done. Why though? Why?
Yeah, I want to hear why, just so I can tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah, keep the wheels nice and cool.
Maybe that's an age thing. You're one of the older bands we've talked to. Maybe it's that's the reason there. That's why you've gone for it too. You're the same age.
Pretty much. Got to keep the boys nice and cool. Keep the circulation going.
Dudes, thank you so much for taking the time. We are excited to have you guys back into the music space. Looking forward to next year where I can actually come and watch a show with you guys.
Yeah.
When's the Sydney show? Like,
it's Saturday the 26th of November this month. About 2.5 weeks. Beautiful.
And hey, feel free anytime to reach out if you guys do start doing music. You got anything you want to promo? We'll do obviously a video for any music clips you do. Anything we can do to help, push you guys. Because I think it's fucking genuinely, I think it's an awesome thing that a band can come back 20 years later, essentially, and just get straight back into it. I think it's a really cool thing.
Yeah. We're stoked and we're humbled that our fans have kind of shown the love and come out to our shows, and looking forward to a future of writing some more music and keep doing it.
Hell yeah.
Keen as boys. Thanks so much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Cheers.
Legend. Thanks, boys. Really appreciate it.